sources of history of the Ikshvakus. There are archaeological as well as literary sources to study the history of the Ikshvakus. Under archaeological sources, there are coins, inscriptions, buildings, and sculptures. And coming to the inscriptions found at Nagarjunakonda, Jaggayapeta of Krishna district, Ramireddipalli, and Fanigiri are the major sources for the history of the Ikshvakus. These inscriptions were written in Prakrit language and Brahmi script, and from the times of Ehuvala Shantamula, these inscriptions were written in Sanskrit. The inscriptions of the Ikshvakus can be categorized into four types. 1. Inscriptions on Mahastupas and Ayaka pillars. 2. Inscriptions in Chaityagrihas. 3. Inscriptions on individual pillars. 4. Inscriptions on sculptures. Coming to the coins of the Ikshvakus were found in Nagarjunakonda, Fanigiri, Nelakondapalli, Vaddemanu of Mahabubnagar district and Eleshwaram of Nalgonda district. Based upon this, historians say that the kingdom of the Ikshvakus might have been expanded till these regions. While the coins of the Shatavahanas were found in large numbers, the coins of the Ikshvakus were found in small numbers. And the Ikshvakus never issued gold and silver coins, and the coins issued by the Ikshvakus were also very small in size. The coins of Roman emperors and empresses were found at Nagarjunakonda. That is, the coins of the Roman emperors Tiberius and Hadrian and the Roman empress Faustina were found at Nagarjunakonda, and the coins of the Roman emperor Septimius Severus were found at Eleshwaram. Coming to the buildings and sculptures, Buddhistupas, Chaityas, Toranas, and the sculptures on them found at Nagarjunakonda, Ramireddipalli, Nelakondapalli, Fanigiri, and Anupu are helpful in knowing about the socio-religious conditions during the rule of the Ikshvakus. A fort, Buddhistupa, Viharas, Chaityas, Aramas, temples, and bathing huts which belong to the times of Ikshvakus, that is 3rd century CE, were found in the excavations of Nagarjunakonda. A. Ranganatha Saraswati, a Telugu assistant working in archaeological department, discovered the remains of Nagarjunakonda for the first time in 1926. Later, N.H. Longrest and in 1938, B.N. Ramachandran carried out excavations at Nagarjunakonda. In 1954, Rayaprodu Subramaniam carried out the excavations on a large scale. The ancient sculptures, inscriptions, and other objects found in the excavations were moved uphill Nagarjunakonda, and other objects were carried to Anupu. Coming to the literary sources, among the literary sources, Matsya Purana, Vayu Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Vishnu Purana, and Bhagavata Purana are the important ones. These Puranas give information about the names of the Ikshvaku rulers and their ruling period. The information in all these Puranas is almost based on the information in the Bhavishya Purana, which was written in the 2nd century CE. Puranas give information about the dynasties which ruled till the 4th century CE, that is, till the establishment of the Gupta dynasty or the rule of 1st Chandragupta. A 11th century Kannada text, Dharmamrutam, states that Yashodhara, an Ikshvaku ruler of the Anga kingdom, established a kingdom near the mouth of river Krishna by making Pratipalapuram or Bhattiprolu as its capital. Nyayasena wrote the text Dharmamrutam based on an ancient text. Coming to the political history of the Ikshvakus, Vasishtiputra Sri Shantamula ruled from 220 CE to 233 CE. Vasishtiputra Sri Shantamula was the founder of the independent Ikshvaku kingdom. He declared his independence by dethroning the last Shatavahana emperor, fourth Pulomavi, with the help of the people who belonged to Hiranyaka and the Pugiya dynasties. He brought Andhra and Telangana regions under his rule. His inscriptions were found at Rentala and Keshanapalli. His greatness was mentioned in the Nagarjunakonda inscription issued by his son Veera Purushadatta. He was called as Aneka Go Hala Shata Sahasra Pada Isha, which means that he donated crores of gold coins, thousands of cows, oxen, plows, and lands. On the fifth plaque of his memorial pillar, Sri Shantamula is seen as performing the Agnishtoma sacrifice with shaved head and a stick in his hand. He also had a deer hide on his shoulders. He wore ordinary clothes. He does not have footwear. There is an umbrella over his head. One of his servants is seen carrying a pot of water. One of the five Brahmins in the sculpture is seen receiving donation from the king with his right hand. Harmyashri and Shantishri, the sisters of Sri Shantamula, praised him in their inscriptions. But they did not mention the name of their father anywhere. Sri Shantamula performed Ashwamedha, Agnishtoma, Agnihotra, and Vajapeya sacrifices. Vajapeya sacrifice was used to be performed by Samrats and Chakravartins only. An Ashwamedha sacrifice stage was found in the excavations of Nagarjunakonda. Sri Shantamula had the title of Maharaja. No such information was found that Sri Shantamula expanded his empire. He had matrimonial alliances with his contemporary dynasties Pugiya and Dhanaka. He gave one of his sisters Shantishri in marriage to Mahaskandashri, a Mahasenapati and Mahatalavara of the Pugiya dynasty. Therefore, some of the inscriptions of the times describe Shantishri as Mahadanapatni and Mahatalavarini. Shantishri and Mahaskandasri had a son, Skandasagara. No information was found regarding the name and dynasty of the husband of Harmyashri, another sister of Sri Shantamula. Sri Shantamula gave his daughter Adavi Shantishri in marriage to Skanda Vishakha a Mahasenapati and Mahadandanayaka of the Dhanaka dynasty. Sri Shantamula followed Vedic religion. In some of the inscriptions of the times, He was described as a devotee of Skanda Kartikeya or Mahasena of Ujjain. But both of his sisters followed Buddhism. Mathari Putra Srivira Purushadatta ruled from 233 CE to 253 CE. Veera Purushadatta was a son of Sri Shantamula. His inscriptions were found at Nagarjunakonda, Jaggayapeta, Uppugunduru, and Alluru. He was the greatest among the rulers of the Ikshvaku dynasty. He had matrimonial alliances with his contemporary dynasties. With their support, he made his kingdom stable. According to the Nagarjunakonda inscription, he had 5 wives. He married Bapishri and Shastishri, the daughters of his paternal aunt Harmyashri. He also married the daughter of his another paternal aunt Shantishri. He married a descendant of Chastana of the Shakakshatrapa dynasty, Princess Mahadevi Rudra Bhattarika of Ujjain. His fifth wife was Mahadevi Bhattideva. According to the inscription issued by the one and only daughter of Veera Purushadatta, Kodabali in the 11th renal year of Ehuvala Sri Shantamula, Veera Purushadatta gave Kodabali in marriage to the Chutu dynasty ruler of Kuntala Desha, Vishnu Rudra Shivarananda Shatakarni of Banavasi. Initially, Veera Purushadatta followed Vedic religion. Later, he followed Buddhism. His ruling period is an important phase in the history of Buddhism in Andhra. A king is seen touching a Shivalinga with his foot in a sculpture found at Nagarjunakonda. Some scholars opined that the sculpture indicates Veera Purushadatta leaving Shaivism, but it is based upon the Mandhata Jataka and does not indicate Veera Purushadatta. The main reason behind the building of the Buddhist structures on Nagarjunakonda was Princess Shantishri, the paternal aunt of Veera Purushadatta. In the 6th renal year of Veera Purushadatta, she built a Maha Chaitya in Nagarjunakonda over one of the remains of Buddha. According to the Nagarjunakonda inscription, she showed love towards Brahmins, Shramanas, and poor people. She issued one more inscription in the 18th renal year of her son-in-law Veera Purushadatta, wishing for his well-being. Due to Shantishri, the Ikshvaku queens and the five wives of Veerapurushadatta patronized Buddhism.